Welcome back. Pet Wars, Chapter 5. Well, now Mom made a deal with the kids. Whoever comes up with the $500 first gets the pet. And Lexi and her brother don't seem to want to cooperate together, so now I understand why it's called a pet war. Chapter 5. Saturday, March 3rd. Money saved? 0. Malcolm and I were in his backyard, which was just a few streets away from mine. "Watch this," I shouted, getting ready to amaze him with my soccer juggling skills. Soccer juggling is when you bounce the ball from one foot or leg to another foot or leg without the ball hitting the ground. I once juggled a ball 42 times in a row. No one else on the team could even come close. I bounced the ball twice on my knee. 1, 2, and then the ball careened awkwardly and landed on the grass. "Impressive," said Malcolm, clapping. "You're so not funny." I nudged the ball to him, but a little too hard, and it skittered past and into his bushes. "Sorry, I'm distracted. That's all. I have less than a month to raise $500. "So why are you playing soccer?" asked Malcolm. "Shouldn't you be out robbing a bank or something?" I don't think that's a good idea. These pages are stuck together. He bounced the ball from foot to foot. I had been teaching him how to juggle for the past few weeks. As part of my special Otto soccer clinic, Malcolm was my only student. "I don't see how you're going to earn that kind of money without robbing a bank anyway. Have you heard of Pretty Boy Floyd? You could be Ugly Face Otto." Malcolm smiled when he said it. He was my best friend, so he was allowed to insult me. We had this game where we took turns insulting each other, but he usually won. He was better at language arts than me, too, and math, but I was better at soccer, so it all evened out. You need friends who are better than you are at stuff. Then you can get them to do things like think of ideas to earn money so you can get your dog. "Soccer players get paid millions of dollars a year," I said. "Do you think I could find a team to sign me up for $500? That'd be a bargain." Malcolm kneed the ball to his foot, under his leg, and then to his knee. It was a pretty nice trick. Maybe I shouldn't have taught him how to juggle so well. Then he kicked the ball back to me. Now it was my turn to show off my soccer skills. After all, I was the soccer star here. I bounced the ball twice on my left foot, hopped right, then smacked it too hard, and the ball rolled right into the bushes again. "A team wouldn't want even to if you paid them $500, Malcolm giggled. "Oh, that's so funny, I forgot to laugh." I needed a plan and maybe more soccer practice. I can't let Lexi win. I'll never hear the end of it. I just need one great idea to raise cash, and then I'm set. I snapped my fingers. "I know. I could expand Otto's soccer clinic, show kids how to juggle. I'd make a fortune." I nudged the ball up on my right knee. I bounced it on my left knee, my right, and then it to the bushes yet again. I really needed to practice. "Oh, that's a great idea," said Malcolm. He began speaking to his imaginary group of soccer students. "Kids, watch me, and then do the opposite." "Oh, you're not being very helpful. Sorry, but your ideas stink. Don't blame the messenger. Fart face, pickle head, French fry breath, amoeba brain fungus oozing scooter head." "Ooh, good one. Thanks. See, he's a lot better than me at insults." "But I have a money-making idea that you'll think is simply brilliant. I had done a little research on the computer this morning. I need to find just the right idea. Easy, well paid, and not impossible. Maybe. Ready?" Malcolm nodded. "Are you sure?" Malcolm nodded again. "Here I go." "Just tell me already." "I can move to Hollywood and get my own TV show." He stared at me. Really? That's your genius plan? You can't act or dance or sing. But I have Hollywood good looks. TV actors make a mint. Or I could just get a reality show. Anyone can have one of those. Oh, great idea. They could call it The Biggest Total Loser, Malcolm suggested with a laugh. I'm serious. Oh, that's what scares me, said Malcolm. You're never getting your own show. What else do you have? Okay, this next one is excellent, really. Malcolm didn't look convinced. I could be a lawyer. Lawyers get paid for like $500 an hour. I could work for 1 hour and then I'm done. But Malcolm didn't even have to respond to the last idea for me to know that was lousy. You can't just be a lawyer because you want to be. You need to start smaller, Malcolm juggled as he talked, barely paying attention to what he was doing, but kicked flawlessly. How about doing work around the neighborhood? You mean like real labor? It could take weeks to make $500 if I actually work for it. Well, then you better get started. Malcolm continued his fancy footwork. I would have to put in some extra practice time if I was going to remain on the team and the soccer juggling champion. But I had to admit it. Malcolm's idea made sense. That's why they call it earning money. Besides, I'd do just about anything to remove that smirk from Lexi's face, even if it meant a real day's work. However awful the idea sounded, I just needed to be responsible and start earning money out of my ears. Sort of like earwax, but with money. This kid is... Wow. I decided mowing lawns would be the perfect way to earn money. I was wrong. Our lawn doesn't need to be mowed. Come back in June, said Mr. Weinstein, patting his stomach. I'm not sure why he patted his stomach. Maybe he just ate. You don't get a stomach as big as his without eating a lot. Exercise isn't really his thing. Oh. That's why I thought he would be eager for someone to mow his lawn. The next house wasn't any better. Aren't you a bit early in the season? Said Mrs. Strepp. She didn't have kids, so I figured she'd be a sure customer. People without children love hiring kids to do stuff. I think it's because they feel guilty that other people raise kids while they do fancy vacations all the time. Are you nuts? Go away, said Mr. Parrish, who then closed the door on me. Mr. Parrish isn't the nicest neighbor. But when you need money, you can't be choosy. Even mean people have cash. So maybe I hadn't thought through this lawn mowing idea very well. Finding a lawn to mow was as easy as eating horseradish. Ooh. And I've already told you my feelings about horseradish. Ugh. Yeah, I don't like it either. I had wasted almost an hour and a half knocking on doors and hadn't made a red cent or a colored cent. I didn't know how Lexi was doing, but I wouldn't have been surprised to learn that she was raking in the dough already. Knocking on doors all day is tiring, especially when wheeling around a heavy old lawnmower. After steering it back into our garage, I grabbed the cold bottle of soda from our fridge and practically downed it in one gulp. But before I tossed the bottle in the trash, I couldn't help notice the words printed on the side of it. Deposit 5 cents. That means I could get a nickel for every bottle I brought back to the store. Now, a nickel isn't a fortune, but I bet if you walk around the city, I could find 500 of those bottles in no time. I just need 1,000 bottles, and then I'd be set. Or maybe I need 10,000 bottles. I had a hard time carrying those zeros, but money was money. Why am I coming along? Howled Malcolm. I dragged my old red wagon behind me as we walked down the sidewalk toward the park. The wheels were really rusty and made a loud squeaking racket when they rolled. So we had to yell to be heard. I have better things to do. And what was that? I asked, shouting. Better things to do, he screamed. I have better things to do. Like what? What? Like what? I stopped dragging the red wagon so we could talk. I could be doing lots of things, said Malcolm. Brushing my teeth, watching paint dry, Really, anything in the world. I'm not the one who wants a dog. But best friends help best friends. Do you want Lexi to win? Well, of course not. Do you want to see her demolished like an old soda can, smashed into smithereens and then thrown into a garbage compactor? I don't know, said Malcolm. That sounds a bit harsh. Harsh? We're talking about Lexi. We're talking about cats. Do you want me to lose? Malcolm shook his head. Then let's go. I yanked the red wagon forward. If Malcolm said anything else I couldn't hear, I think he might have groaned. But didn't Malcolm know that this was a war? War wasn't for the squeamish. It was kill or be killed. Dog eat dog, or rather, dog eat cat. We arrived at the park and we walked down the long gravel parking lot. There were no cars. Although the park was empty, people always left bottles behind. Our family went on a picnic a few years ago. This was before Mom and Dad got divorced, and we found 4 bottles without even trying. Dad flew off the handle, saying litterers didn't respect the environment, and he used a bunch of other words, some not very nice. But the more people littered, the more moolah for me. Hopefully there was an epidemic of littering going on. Malcolm and I had the entire park to ourselves. It was a bit chilly. Maybe if it were warmer, there would have been more bottles. But after 20 minutes of searching, we found 1. This stinks, I complained. You'd think someone would trash the place up a bit. Why is the park so clean anyway? Some people like clean parks, said Malcolm. Sure, cat lovers probably, I grumbled. We spent the next hour walking around looking for bottles. We even walked all the way around Grand River Avenue, with its long string of stores and lots of people. There weren't humongous mega stores. It wasn't the sort of like downtown, but there were a couple dozen smaller ones like the Wow Cow ice cream parlor, Schnood's grocery store, dry cleaners, dry cleaning. Well, that's what the sign said. Hair Sensation Beauty Salon, the library, and You Petcha pet store, a couple of restaurants, and so on. Ever since I started middle school, Mom let me bike out there. She said I wasn't too old. She said I wasn't old enough when I was in 5th grade. She said it wasn't safe. I argued it wasn't safe anywhere, and if a meteorite could land on me in the backyard, it could happen. Well, maybe. So Mom and I couldn't play in the backyard anymore either. Luckily, that lasted a couple of days. Fortunately, no meteorites ever landed. But here, it was like the town had gone green overnight. Even with searching inside trash cans and looking into the convenience store, we all but packed 8 bottles. I may not have been great at math, but I knew I wasn't even close to $500. Any other bright ideas? Asked Malcolm. Well, you're the one that told me to start small. This was your plan. You're supposed to be the brains of the operation, he said. Of course, you need a brain first. Burp head, repugnant dung beetle, cucumber nose, squat nose, Melodorphus mountain weasel. I let the insult slide. Besides, I wasn't sure what a Melodorphus meant. But I couldn't worry about insults. I only had a few hours left in the day to find valuable employment. I had read about people without jobs and always wondered why they couldn't just get one like that in 3 seconds, but now I knew. Finding steady work was going to be more difficult than I first believed. You could wash cars, suggested Malcolm. People need their cars washed, even in March. Which wasn't a bad idea, I have to admit. Malcolm had been a knack for making cash. His dad was an accountant, and accountants are all about making money. It was probably hereditary, like my inability to arch eyebrows. I blame Dad. I wonder how many cars we can wash in a day, I asked. We? I have to go home. It's getting late. Home? But what about me? You can't expect me to earn the money all by myself. Of course I can. It's your pet. Earning money is your responsibility. I bristled, but nodded. I was all about responsibility, and as it turned out, I didn't need Malcolm's help at all. Mr. Willoughby, who lived across the street and 4 houses over, said that he needed his car washed. He drove a minivan, which made it impossible for me to clean the very, very top, but you wouldn't know it unless you were like a giraffe or a flying helicopter. I charged him $5, but he didn't have any change, so he gave me a 10. I should have charged him 50, and then maybe he would have given me $100. Oh well, live and learn. The logic of this kid. $50 to wash my car, said Mr. Flanders, 7 doors down. I'll give you $5. It's a deal, I said. Unfortunately, she had exact change. I hoped I could wash 100 cars that day, and $5 a pop, I would be set. But I couldn't find any more to wash, and I knocked at just about every house in the neighborhood. I even knocked on Mr. Willoughby's door again. He didn't think his car needed washing more than once a day. Since he had paid me $10, he said I was more than welcome to wash it again for free, but I didn't. Still, I had made $15. It wasn't enough to buy a dog, but I was getting closer. I had other tricks up my sleeve, too. I called Grandma Sylvia when I got home. She lives in Florida, so we only see her once a year. And Grandma always sends me a check for $50 on my birthday. So I figured that might be my ticket to fast money. Oh no. Grandma, it's me, Otto, I said after she answered the phone. Otto? Grandma gasped. Why are you calling me? Is everything okay? Is anything wrong? I guess I don't call her often or ever. No, I was just calling to say hello. I took a deep breath. Grandma, I need cash. There was a pause on the line. Excuse me? Cash. I need it bad. Grandma's voice raised 2 octaves. Otto, what's going on? Are you in trouble? Where's your mother? Everything's fine, I assured her. I was just wondering if maybe I could get an advance on my birthday money. You send me $50 every year, so I thought instead of you could just send me the $500 now, and then you're off the hook for the next 10 years. Just think of all the money you'll save on stamps. I imagined poor Lexi's wide eyes grimace as I handed $500 to Mom in the form of a check from Grandma. But your birthday isn't for another 2 months. Right. So I'll tell you what. You send me $499 now and $1 in 2 months. That sound fair? But Grandma wasn't going for my plan at all. She insisted I put Mom on the phone. Mom ended up yelling at me and saying it was rude to ask for presents and that I should be thankful to Grandma gets me anything and that I needed to earn the money in a responsible way or the challenge was over. I was really starting to hate that word, responsible, but it was just a small setback. I had a lot of other great ideas. I was just getting started. I wasn't only going to earn money for a dog, I was going to be rich. Maybe I'd get 2 dogs and hire a butler to take care of them for me. Except I'd make Lexi clean up the poop. Whoa, I don't know about him. Otto sure seems to be a little bit scattered. The idea of having to make money, whoa, that's funny. Yeah, you have to work to get your money. Well, I hope you enjoyed it, boys and girls. What do you think's going to happen in Chapter 6? Check in next time to find out.